welcome to Cannon Crüe, a weekly podcast discussing the Charleston battery. Your host Granit will be joined by other defenders of the fleet from the black and yellow supporters section, and together they will help fortify and conquer. They are the Cannon Crüe.
Welcome to the Cannon Crüe. I am Granit, and I am here to introduce my lovely niece and her little grilling of the Phoenix Not So Rising. Take it away, Harper.
Hi, I'm Harper. I'm 10, and I came all the way here just to roast Phoenix Rising with some of these jokes. What do Phoenix Rising defenders and paper towels have in common? They both fold when things get wet. Welcome to Charles. Why did Phoenix Rising cancel their cookout? Because the battery already grilled them. Why don't Phoenix Rising players like fireworks tonight? Too many flashbacks from the last battery beatdown. What's the real reason they call them Phoenix Rising? Because after every Charleston match, they have to rise from the ashes.
Fantastic job, Harper. Welcome to the Cannon Crüe. I am Granit, and I'm joined by Ryan. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Granit. Ready for this week. I'm ready. How are you?
So ready. And also joined by the ever elusive Patrick, baby daddy Patrick.
What's going on, everybody?
I see you
Hope, guys have been keeping it down and enjoying your free time, which I think used to be abundant and wasn't consumed with a whole new life form that you have to take care of. But we're doing great. We're still alive over here. No hiccups, but literal hiccups. So pretty good.
I see you got the rocker going. That's always a plus. Is that for you?
Yes. It's soothes me as well as Palmer. Sometimes it soothes both of us at the same time. And I catch myself waking up to make sure she has gone to bed first and not just me.
Well, good luck. That'll happen for quite a while now. And then you get to middle, and they get 3 or 4 or 5, and then you have to play keeper all the time. And then all of a sudden you're staying up late again when they're 16, 17, being hooligans.
Yeah, I think as of now, 80% of my blood is coffee, so I'll just keep that going for 16 more years and we'll be fine.
That'll work. Well, later on, you have to add some alcohol to it. Right now, I understand the lack of alcohol to it, but later on, I mean, unless DSS is listening, he doesn't drink. He's a teeth.
I'm not breastfeeding as much as she tries to laugh.
I think I'm going to leave that comment alone. Ryan? Nothing? Nope.
No.
Okay. Let's
talk.
talk about something fun. You know what was fun? You know what was really fun? Is watching somebody show up Saturday night. You know who showed up Saturday night?
A lot of people.
The fucking battery and about 5,000 fans, or how many it was. And biggest among there, the person that showed up, Arturo Rodriguez. Hats off.
As much as hold on. Let me restate. As much as I talk about Arturo in a not so positive light most times when I talk about him, what a game to step up and what a game to absolutely deliver. And this is what we're missing. I mean, this is what we want from him, right?
Man, he showed up and showed up big, and all of a sudden he's in the box and he's taking shots and he's, just everywhere.
The quick cut and shot is his move. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Now, there is one person that motivates Arturo, and it is Juan David. We were at the game. We made our way in. We're a little bit behind getting to the seats, naturally. But so I missed MD's goal. That doesn't count in my mind. Didn't see it. Didn't happen. But when I get up to the stands and we're sitting down watching, get to see Arturo working his ass off from the get-go and trying to keep play moving, trying to keep it going. He knows how to break down Phoenix and just drive it down their throat, make the plays. And at one point, it was early on, but Juan David kind of overlapped and took the ball from him and then did some weird shot pass cross thing, and it just turned it over. And you can visibly see Arturo just get like very upset with him. And this is a great turning point for players where either you're going to be upset and it's going to ruin your game and that's it. But it could go the other way, which it did. And Arturo just turned around and took over. He took over this game. It was long overdue for a player of his caliber.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, it was amazing to see him break out of this so-called shell and just take the game into his hands. And let's not have Juan David take it over, or Ikaza, or Cal Jennings. It's another playmaker. So another chink in the armor that teams have to worry about.
Man, we got to see the side of Arturo that Ben Pierman saw a long time ago, and we haven't really seen up until now. We've seen glimpses of it, but this last match, he's been building up to this. Every game he's been getting stronger and stronger, and he's obviously one of these players. The more playing time he gets, the stronger he's going to get, and he showed his worth Saturday night.
And about Arturo too, like for those out there, it's like we're not asking for Arturo to score every single game or anything like to that effect, but the way he commanded and dominated and controlled that midfield and made a presence known in the final third alone. As a midfielder, to make your presence known in the final third is a special thing in a game. You're drawing out defenders 20, 30 yards extra further out and exploiting them, taking them on one-on-one, and he did just that, and it was quite beautiful. To go to the whole game with that was a 4-1 scoreline doesn't do justice to that game, as it was a fight back and forth, but the battery, the consistency, the standard, everything was there on Saturday.
So
yeah, and it was a huge turning point from leveling it after 37, 38 minutes for the battery to put the gas right back on. Not even 7 minutes, which, I mean, if you count celebration time, tracking back, not even 5 minutes after their goal, we're getting it back. And Arturo, as you said, stepping up, dribbling it in, taking two guys on, and just wrong-siding the keeper who thinks he's going to go far post and taking him near post. I mean, it's a beautiful goal. You watch it from the stands and you just go, you can see the keeper visibly is like, oh, I'm going this way. He's going to try and curl it in. This is what I see on tape from these guys. And he just surprises them. Amazing shot. It wasn't a screamer, but it's exactly where it needed to be.
Where to?
And I think from that point, the battery kept the gas on. That really, going into halftime, brought that confidence level all the way back up.
Yeah, because they scored, 40 minutes, something like it, a little before that. And I was thinking, man, we're going in half drawn on this. And I think we kind of showed what we needed to do and got that goal going in before halftime. And the other amazing thing, let's go back to MD, because MD was just calm and cool. Juan David does incredible pass into him, and I don't think MD looked up. He just put far side, and it was just fantastic. Everybody just, it was a fantastic goal.
It most certainly was. I mean, this game, if you listen to how Granit and I were commentating before the game even started, this game felt like it was almost like a script, almost like it was already prejudged, especially like the first half, and how you could read how the atmosphere felt, right? The atmosphere felt we were going out for revenge. The entire stadium knew it because we sold out. We wanted this game back at home. There was a lot to prove at this game, especially with us losing on the road to Miami last week or midweek. That game did not do us justice, did not do the fans justice, and the battery knew that. And you just knew and could smell it in the air, the revenge that was about to take place.
Well, I could feel it, but there's always kind of also this nervous energy too. We're like, we're going to win. But it wasn't like we were confident, like we rolled into some team. it was that kind of nervous energy, but it was very optimistic. Even pre-match out there with the regiment and all the people out there, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we got this. But but it was quite the atmosphere out in the parking lot, and quite atmosphere even when you got in. It's always cool to look around a stadium and see it packed, and then look back behind where we stand and seeing back in the food area, it's packed out there too. It's just pretty amazing.
Yeah, one noticeable missing person from my section where I sit, he was down on the field in this game, was Graham Smith.
Interesting, huh?
Last home game I was at is about 20 feet away. This home game, I mean, what 2 weeks can do for you? You come back, some of your favorite players are out there. We got to see Leland out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw him a little bit from the hospital computer playing midweek, but it was great. Great seeing these guys back. And, like, does this not just build confidence in these defenders, seeing what their quote-unquote replacements did for them while they were gone, and
You mean
kind of bringing that competition back to our center backs?
you kind of mean your equals? Because what do you do now? I mean,
It's a great place to be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, last season we didn't have this issue until someone went down, where it was like, oh, what do we do now? I personally, I'm a big fan of competition. It keeps you sharp, keeps you pushing, keeps you trying to get to that next level, and I think that's what we missed a little bit last year in the playoffs. And I think that's going to be our not our turning point this year, but it definitely solidifies the back and gives you that confidence boost that we can go through without giving up goals in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, because what do you do with Edwards? What do you do with Joey? Because those two were just they stepped up and were just killing it the whole time. Since both our other center backs, went out injured. And so what do you do? Send them back on the bench? Do you start rotating them all the time? Do you get them both much playing time?
I think it's kind of what we saw with Gutierrez and Rodriguez and Torres from a season ago, is just you kind of rotate these guys. You get them switching in and out. I don't see any of them moving on from the battery mid-season, but this is what you need. This is what cliche championships are built on defense.
Yeah.
You now kind of have a solid back four, and if someone goes down, you don't blink an eye. You can replace him and know that confidence is there across the line, and they know what they're doing.
It'd be a terrible decision if the battery were to decide to get rid of any one of those guys, or like to sell them or send them on loan somewhere else. This core of center backs would be the reason to win the USL Championship this season. That alone is going to get you there. Just like you said, defenses win championships. Yes, if you tie a game 0-0 because your defense is that good, yet your offense isn't that good, you go to pens. Anything can happen in pens. We've already been there before.
Against this team.
Against this type of team.
Yeah.
It's a scenario to where you now have to rely on your entire team now pushing yourselves through, and that this last game definitely showed that. Now, how they're going to work the center backs, I think that's a great question, and it's definitely going to open up for how this season is to come. Now, when they do have the Jägermeister Cup still, and then you have league play, so you'll see them definitely rotate the Jägermeister Cup, like how you see Luis and Christian Gardner switch out. But I'd like to see how often it happens. Is it going to happen every game, or is it going to happen like where Sebastian was there and he would come in for like the last 30 minutes or so?
That'll be interesting to see. Because now when we take what we would think is our lesser two center backs and put them in the Jägermeister Cup, but maybe we put our two backs that have been sitting on the bench for a while and they play in there. Because it's a real interesting problem to have. The other thing I've want to talk about quickly was Edwards. So he's on loan, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Does he go back
at the end of our season?
I think this is kind of that tipping point of you see what you have, and I think Joey's really stepped up but I think Edwards is the guy that's made him step up and kind of built that. If you have guys like Graham Smith and Leland Archer in there, I think you kind of stick with Joey as your backup option and maybe fighting for his place. But yeah, I think Edwards, I would love to see him back, but I don't think he's going to stay with how strong we have this position now and the guys just in there. I don't think it's enough to want to stay at a championship team just to rotate around and play.
Plus, he's on loan from MLS, and he could easily, with the amount of exposure he's now getting on the USL Championship side, he could easily go play in Europe next year, or he's back up in MLS playing for a different club side. Rather than, I believe he's with Colorado Rapids, if I'm not mistaken, right? Is that who we got him from? It was them or Vancouver, I can't remember. But
I don't know.
Yeah, and Ryan, with that point, I mean, you have 3 other guys that one of them may be called up. So this could be the point where then he is trying to make that loan deal a permanent deal. But I think this is a great issue to have. 4 strong center backs that each are in themselves a number 1 center back.
So one other person I want to talk about on the back line, well, 2. Nate, of course. Nate's a beast. Nate is just, he is where he needs to be, and he just loving life and doing fantastic work. Even though he wasn't scoring goals this week or doing, some things that stood out. He did a fantastic job moving the ball from back to front, in and up in the box several times. He did a fantastic job. The other side, the more I see Blaylock play, the less I'm convinced he should be there. Because I think the goal that we gave away was due to his negligence.
Yeah. I mean, the goal we gave up is the goal we give up every game. It is. You watched it. I watched it. I ran at you and said, this is the type of goal we give up every game. It is.
And we both, I think before that, we both we talked for a second, said, it's building. Yep. We both knew that something was going to happen.
I mean, they had the same chance, 5-10 minutes before that?
Yeah.
Almost the exact same play where the guy dummies it. The next guy tries to shoot it, but gets blocked. I don't know how they fell for this dummy again.
If you watch the replay,
I mean, it was,
you see who fell for it.
Yeah. I mean, it was still a good goal. So, me personally, I'll just throw the blame on the keeper. It's easiest.
Yeah, let's do that. And Blaylock.
Huh. Shocker.
So,
I do have a real question for you guys since I've been out for a little bit. And just sitting down and seeing the guys on the field. No Cal and no Malloy.
They were there. They were there. They came out. They
not starting though.
No, when Ryan was you and I stand down there at the beginning of the match, or was it second half? I can't remember. But everybody else come out, and then those 2 come out. Nobody else around them. They were just high fiving all the people, little tunnel there and stuff like that. So it was because I went, oh look, I guess we know who's not starting today, because I hadn't seen the starting 11 at that point. Okay, here's a fun.
But I think that's football. I mean, like for Malloy, Cal, give them some rest. You have this team now to be able. I mean, that's another threat though. You win a game 4-1 in result. Beginning of the game, you don't start one of your 2 best players on your team, right? You could think everybody on the starting 11 is one of the best, right? That's why they're starting. Mm-hmm. But when you have one of your best midfielders and the best forward in the league currently right now with the goals amount that he has scored, whether it's penalties or open play, he is not starting. And then you look at the end result with the amount of time that they've still played, maybe 20, 25 minutes in the game, you win 4-1 against a team that, you lost the final in 2 years ago, a team that they were 1 win away from being in first place in the West.
Yep. And Cal
confidence been that too, even after losing to a team like Miami 1-0 on the road.
Well, we went down there on Wednesday, right? And then we come back up here and play again a couple days later. So those guys need the rest. Cal still come out, and he's an old man. Come out in his walker and it's 60 minutes or something like that, and still put in, I call it the pre-assist. He was working, and he got the ball in, and it kind of bounced around, and then that's Arturo's second slow roller goal that everything was like paused in time as we were watching the ball roll across the line. But he come in, and he was fired up, and he was going to put his time in and be very effective at doing it. He had 2 balls cross the box that one MD just barely got it with his foot and just put it just a little bit wide. And then he had that second one that went in for a goal with Arturo's shot. So Cal did come in and didn't look like he didn't look like he's got years on him, and he didn't look like he was tired.
So you guys are just saying probably from the Wednesday and travel, give a few guys a break. I assume that's the same with Archer, not getting the start in this one. Coming off injury and just playing a lot of minutes on Wednesday.
Well, and that you take Joey and Edwards, and they've been working very well together, and we've got to get some good results, and he needs some. That's the reason why I would keep those 2 in there, because we're kind of working well with them. Our loss to Miami wasn't because the 2 center backs failed. Our loss to Miami is because our forwards failed.
I was about to ask you that, though. You lose Miami 1-0. We didn't really switch our forwards out. We switched our defense out. Do you think that 1-0 Miami loss kind of cost our defenders their job currently?
No, it cost.
Because now we went from a mid-table team to a team who's 1 away from the first place in the West.
Well, I think what happened is maybe somebody listened to one of our podcasters said, hey, let's try 3 at the back. Yeah, it was a colossal failure, like the other podcaster was trying to say, never do 3 at the back. And they went, okay, we're not listening to that.
So that's dead. We don't have to have that conversation ever again.
We all know it's not 3 in the back. It's a 2 in the back system.
We should just go to 1 in the back at this rate. Who cares?
Yeah,
just leave Luis back there. That's it. That's all you need.
Exactly. That's all we need. Hey, so I just looked up, and I don't know why I had done this before. Joey's my new favorite. Well, one of my new favorites. So Joey, he has a degree in biology, and apparently he intends to become a doctor. So
we're gonna have 2 doctors.
Being a fellow biologist, I appreciate his studies. It's not necessarily easy, and he apparently had a very good grade point average. But I don't know what grade point averages mean anymore, because it's like out of 27 or something like that. I don't know. But good job, Joey. Now we have to buy a 3rd kit. Well, anyways, okay. Let's talk about another super addition to the team that's now going to make it tough on what you do with the midfield. And that's Landry.
I think this guy makes it tough on what you do in defense, offense, and midfield.
Oh, my God.
Where can he play? I mean, he's played left back. He's played left wing. Now he's playing center mid, scoring Juan David goals.
I tell you what, El Bubo better be concerned. He might have to want to play goalie one time and show everybody. I don't know. That guy, when he stepped in, because we had Chris Allen in his normal position, and Landry stepped in for Malloy, and he was just at both ends of the pitch and just going at it the whole time. It was amazing to see the work rate he was churning out.
I mean, is this just this time of the year we have to have a Sports Center #1 ranked goal? I mean, deja vu, almost 12 months ago, same thing.
Let me check the contract with the NBC whoever the sports Twitter.
Check with the writers too. I think the script is in. Charleston Battery, half field goal, middle of June, beginning of June. Put it on Sports Center. Make it #1.
Make it #1. You know, this goes. They're fun. They're fun because you could see all of us up in the supporter section when we saw them take that. I think everybody just like hesitated, and then we were all like, "Oh!" and then it was in. It was just those are always fun goals to score. What do you think, Ryan?
I wish I was there. I had left early. We getting in for bath time.
About 2 minutes before that, he goes, "I gotta go. See ya." And when it happened, I said, "Oh yeah, Ryan missed one of the best goals of the season so far." I mean,
see, this is why you bring the baby with you.
So
I was there like this,
how old
next
Palmer?
to the scoreboard.
How old?
It's like about a week, 8 days. 8 days old. She caught her first game. Real fan. Loyal.
Good.
But yeah, we were on our way out and do our restroom stops, and I'm just over there holding her, and then see this spectacular goal, and the stadium erupts. And the joy was taken from me because I was just like, please don't wake up. Please don't wake up. Please don't wake up. So I got to catch plenty of highlights from SportsCenter, from Instagram, Snapchat, all that, reloading it onto my algorithm. So that was great.
It was a fantastic goal. So we talked about all 4 goals now. Somebody described it in one of the news articles or whatever come out and says called it the explanation point of the game. And I can't agree with that more because it just put everything. It was like the smack in the face. It's like, we're winning 3-1. Here, take this shit. Bam. Because there's no coming back. Phoenix stopped playing at about 65 minutes or so. It was just totally, they were done. And then to do that was even better.
Yeah, I mean, you put super subs on that'll just continue to run you down. You really can't do anything. I mean, if your fitness isn't there, it got muggier as the night went on. It started out great, and it seemed to get muggier and muggier as, like, 60th minute, I was drenched. So I can't imagine having Rodriguez, Icaza, MD, who else? Torres out there. And then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, put on Cal, put on Johnny Klein. Just have these guys run them to death.
Well, it was the wet heat versus the dry heat. I think the wet heat won that one.
Put the flames out.
They sure did. They were trying to, and they had that silly goal, and then all of a sudden it's like that little pitiful campfire that has that one little wisp of smoke, and you pour your last little cup of water on it, and it looks so sad and wet. Just kind of.
It's like what you're seeing with the Club World Cup, where all these American teams and South American teams who are used to this heat are starting to beat the European teams, and they're all just out there like, hey, we need timeouts, we need water breaks.
Yep. Because I don't know where I was going to go with that. Yes, you're right. It's just like, welcome to the swamp cooler. Matter of fact, we talked about it. Did we not, Ryan? We talked about it before this match. Talk about the swamp cooler. That's what we did. That's what it was. Yeah.
Now, Pat mentioned earlier super subs. Did you all see the Battery ended up signing today? New signing.
Who was that guy?
The midfielder.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Test.
Is it Joshua Kelly?
No. Try it again. Jeremy Kelly.
Oh, well.
Jeremy Kelly. Jeremy Kelly.
I tried.
Yeah, from Crawley. Was it Crawleytown FC? But he'd been playing over here. Went over there for 18 months. They got played on team. Got him promoted to their League One. Is that right? In the English, the EFL. I think that's what my notes from my massive review. He's a little bit older. He's 27. But here's the other fun thing: is that guess who he used to play for?
Who?
Ben Pierman. This isn't the Charleston Battery. This is Ben Pierman Battery. Is there a player on our team that has not played for Ben Pierman at some point?
What's like Ben Pierman throwing in the chips right now, saying we're already making a playoff push?
Okay, so what do you do with him? He's a midfielder.
What do you mean? You're making a playoff push with him. This is now you brought, because you got to look at it like this, right? We brought in Sadi last season. We brought in Chapman. We brought in somebody else. And we didn't bring them in until about 7 games left in the season, hoping that they would help us in the playoffs. Now that you bring him in much earlier, use him more in trainings, get his minutes, let him rotate in. He's just going to get like the last 20 or so continuously to rotate in, and you just make your team that much more competitive, that much more stronger, and that much more of a championship caliber team.
Okay, here's my problem.
You're adding his values everywhere, not just on the field. You can't just look at it on the game field. You have to look at him as a person, because there's a reason why Ben Pierman went after him.
Well,
and it's actually that as a coach that goes after players on all areas, not just one.
And some of those Sadi didn't pan out very well. Chapman did, but let's think back when we talked to Toby Sims. He said, "Hey, one of the hard things is coming off how many game season in England, and coming back. He scored
like
a
36.
40. They're in the 40s, but that's not even counting all their cup competitions too.
Oh, he's coming out of that and then straight into us, and from England, who's their heat wave this week is like 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, but you got to think that too. That season ended the same time Toby's season did, and Toby's already 3 games in. Oh, shoot, no, he already beat us on our home field.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not like he's coming in and not having played much. His leg can be tired. We got to be able to handle what load he needs.
His legs are now.
And by the way, Toby scored the other night. If you didn't know that, anybody watched
Chattanooga Red Bull 41.
Yeah, nice header into the back of the goal. It's kind of cool to see.
Are those sweet jerseys? They're like West Ham or Burnley jerseys. I can't remember what they look like. They're like a weird European collab. It's actually quite cool. I like it.
So just to piggyback kind of on that talk, Ryan, I think Pierman learned a valuable lesson from last season, where last season we signed early, we signed abundant, and we had to offload because it just was not panning out. And I think he learned that lesson of there is not as much pressure to get these guys in right away and see if it works, but start with what I want, and we'll make that correct signing as we progress through the season and add to our squad where we want it. So I think that, like you said about like Prince and these guys at the end of the year, I think that was just a last ditch effort of like, we're going to throw all our cards on the table and hope it works. Where this season seems a little more like we know what we want and we know these pieces we want to add. Let's wait until we can get them. And if we can't, then we can move to this guy that we want to get. Because you remember, we had these guys up front, including like LaCava and Gutierrez that I talked about, where, they were great, but there's too much too early where you're not building the confidence of the rest of your team by constant rotating. Mm-hmm. And now that we're in the season, injuries kind of help that discussion where we can play guys a little more. But you're picking the correct guys that gel with the team and can help build it instead of kind of take away that presence and that drive and that end goal mentality of championship or bust.
Well, if you remember the last part of the season last year, we had Chris Allen playing left back, right back. He was all over the place. We were so plagued with the injuries in the back line. And it looks like we might have solved that problem, knock on wood. So now, because when you take Chris to move him back there, now all of a sudden you take one of our, stalwart midfielders out of there, and we got to replace him with somebody else. So now it looks like we got a nice little lineup of those kind of defensive midfielders back there with Landry and Chris and Aaron, and now bringing in, who'd you call him? Joseph Kelly?
Joshua Kelly.
Yeah, Joshua Kelly. Bringing him in there. So looks like maybe that's where he's building. MD, and I don't want to jinx him, but he doesn't go down. That man's a workhorse. And Cal, he's got too many. He's just old and grizzly, So I'm not going to say anything else, but I think we've got a good setup.
Yeah. And this is also a team, quote unquote, essentially missing their number one keeper, right?
Were they?
Would you call Kuz the number one?
You talking about
the battery?
Yeah.
I don't know. And
I think going into the season, he would be your number one. Correct? You don't think so?
No.
You think
No,
Luis would have been number one overall?
It's not fair. It's not fair because he got hurt even before there was any type of signing or anything. Like he got hurt way too early for there to be even a discussion if he was going to be the number one. He was there. He's the only keeper on the roster, but then he immediately gets hurt on the offseason, like not even near coming back.
Just going from the previous year. So he was obviously going into this year. The plan was he was probably number one. We're going to add pieces, but we at least have a guy we're confident. So, I mean, this is still a team that there's one more piece that's a really big piece of this squad. I think one of the bigger vocal leaders on that defensive end. Because, I mean, the other guys are great, but, I mean, Crüe is loud. He directs. He's the voice for Leland a lot more when Leland is not having his voice.
I think Luis doesn't command all the vocal stuff because he chews gum. Spit the gum out. That way he can yell. No, that's an interesting point.
I think Crüe is more like. Well, I think Crüe is just more comfortable here now. He's been here a while. He's in love with the city, and it's more passion. And when you're a keeper and you have the passion, you have the obsession. That's where your voice comes from. It doesn't come from all your training and all the things that you do. It comes from simple obsession, drive, and passion. And that's where you discover your multiple different tones, is through your passion and through your obsession of it, because that's what a lot of players struggle with too. Luis definitely struggles with that. And with Crüe, it's just hard for me to think that we would have immediately, or would have, for him to even rightfully consider that he could have easily been number one going into the season, considering that when Pierman came in, we went ahead and signed Trey Muse, made Trey Muse number one over him. And then last year signed Granit and made Granit number one over him. And then this year it looked at the same setup with Luis coming in. Luis looked like he was going to be over him, and then he gets hurt. I mean, it's kind of like a trend. And that's why I said it's not really fair to kind of already give it to him, but it's also not fair to say he wasn't going to get it either, because you just don't know. So I kind of hope he gets it, can get back into the shape of everything. But I also think too, with Christian being there, I think Christian's same boat with him as Crüe, where Christian has the voice, he has fire. His problem is just the uncertainty at times and second guessing himself. That's what I see from him.
Now, who's that guy for MD? Because we know Cal is up here, and I know MD is still different than Cal, and he's up on that playing field. But is this that up top spot? Is there a guy that could still come into the team this summer to help us with that push? I mean, I know we have Conway, but I just don't see Conway being that guy to push that spot for these other two.
Yeah, I take your point about Conway, and I don't know if it's
or is Rubio it? Because I mean, he's on international form. Something clicks.
Sure he is, but he hasn't shown much when he's been down here. We talked about that before. Just for the level of ability he should have, he's not showing it. I don't know. And I don't know if it's Conway, if he's not getting all the playing time, and maybe if he had some consistent playing time, we would see something better out of him, because it's got to be difficult. You get 10, 15 minutes a match, and you're expected to come out there and do something. And it's not every match to, change the game or score a goal, whatever, and not have that full 90 minutes to try to do that consistently.
Oh, maybe we'll see some changes for the Jägermeister Cup coming up.
Is there any pathway for us to go on to the next round?
Win by a lot, I believe.
I don't know. I'm kind of
I think if we tie or lose this one, we're out, right? Completely. Like there's not even a chance.
I don't like it. My anyways. It tastes like shit. I'm just kidding.
Got to win by 3.
This is a good thing to get out of. I mean, yeah, it's a fun competition, but there should be one focus on for this team, and that's USL Championship.
Oh yeah, but just in case good things happen, I've got a whole bunch of shot glasses here that I can bring and pass out. There we go. Okay. I'm still on the Jägermeister Cup. Yeah, I didn't look to see where our pathway is, but I'm sure if there is one, we will find it, and we'll do a fantastic job.
Yep.
And it might be fun to see if our new midfielder, if he gets some minutes when he comes in. But we'll see.
All right. Next game. What's the next game?
I don't know. Jägermeister Cup. I don't give a shit. I'm just kidding. I think it's Saturday.
Is it?
Huh? Yeah.
Saturday at 7:30.
And where is it? Is it at Patriots Point? No.
No,
No.
it's in
It's
Georgia.
in the other swamp.
Yeah, it's in the other swamp. We go from one swampy area to the other. Is it down Georgia?
Tormenta.
Where the devil is.
We'll see. Let's see if we get another midfield shot down there, because we did that a couple years ago. And speaking of midfield shots, the one person that I have intentionally not talked about is Juan David. His assists this game were just fantastically magical. For MD and I think it was Arturo, those just the presence and the ability to pass the ball and put it on someone's foot and get it through a whole two lines of defense is just something that the teams just can't account for, obviously, because he did it twice and he just did a lot of great things out there. And he wasn't scoring the goals this time, but he was helping the goal scorers do their thing.
Mm.
And I think now he leads the league in assist, I do believe, if I remember right.
I think he's also the leader in the Golden Player, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he does have
what that is?
7
Golden-
assists.
Say again, Patrick.
So I was just saying he is in the lead with 7
Yeah.
assists now.
So it's I think one of the big takeaways from this match, one is our pitch is shit. It is crap. I mean, somebody's got to do something about that. Somebody's got to be fired, or they got to let me go out and take care of it and then fire me and find somebody else. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing to it, but they need to stop whatever they're doing and have somebody else that knows what they're doing come out and do something to it, because it's horrible.
I think the 100-degree heat for a couple of weeks isn't helping.
My yard's fine.
You have turf?
Yeah.
You got those corner flags that just sit on cones
It's
too?
on cones. But one thing I was going to say, here's the great thing that I noticed is that there was a lot of people on the team that were contributing to goals. It wasn't just one person, doing an outstanding job and everybody else just kind of watching. There were so many people contributing on both ends of the field, and that's what's going to carry us through to win the league this year, because it's fantastic, because when people are not, playing well, the other players are picking it up. And we see when that doesn't happen, we end up losing to teams like Miami, or Phoenix ends up losing poorly to us because they just couldn't manage that. They had one or two players who were trying to be the heroes, and Emilio was shutting them down the box as a midfielder. And that's all I got to say about that. Oh, except for one thing. One more thing. Supporters, hats off to y'all. That was a raucous environment. Yes, see? And even babies couldn't sleep while they were there.
They tried. They couldn't.
Okay, that's all I got. Anybody else got anything?
Match predictions. It's the last thing. I got to go. But you got Patrick.
I'll say 2-1 Johnny Klein goal, and we'll get big monster Graham Smith a headed corner goal. Start that back up again.
I like that.
Okay. Ryan, what you got?
Got a 2-0 win with MD and Dos Santos scoring.
I thought you were going to pick Luis to get one. A half-field banger.
I hadn't seen him really come out of the 18-yard box, so that'd be hard for me to say that one.
Okay, I'm going to go 2-0. And you know what I'm going to go with, right? No, I'm going with Christian
One
Gardner.
DB with a break.
I'm going with Christian Gardner not giving up a goal. That's where the 0 is coming from. And I'm going to go with, because Juan David's going to be chilling on the sidelines. I just have this feeling. Maybe not. If he's out there, he's scoring 2 goals. If he isn't, I like the Graham Smith goal. And I'm going to go with.
I love that you specified the Christian Gardner thing, because that's also why I picked 2-0.
I know why you picked 0.
But I never pick 0, and I never do it. I have faith that Christian's going to get it done this time, dude. Again,
yep. And I like the Graham shout out, and so I'll go Juan David Torres for one, and Leland Archer for the other.
Leland Archer, all with the defender. I like it.
Yeah, they'll get some minutes. He'll get it.
It's time for them to start racking some goals up. Try and keep their spots.
I don't know if I'm just dreaming this up, but I think Leland is the one that passed the ball to Landry for the assist on the goal last night or Saturday night. But anyways, okay, that's all I got.
All right, see you, boys.
Right. See ya. Boys better watch out. 50 Cent is coming after him. Scoring all these.
Okay, we just finished up the first half, and now the players behind us are coming out. Great first half for us. Went up 1-0, and then come back and they scored a goal, and then we tied it back up.
Yeah, we took the lead.
And we took the lead. Sorry.
Yeah,
so what do you think about the first half?
It was a great response to what we have been doing in the whole entire season, and what a statement to make it against a team who is absolutely giving their all to be that top team in the West right now.
It's fantastic. So I said 2-1 for my prediction.
Yep.
It's all right with me if Juan David scores about 6 goals, and I'll throw a couple in for Arturo also. Okay, you good?
I'm good.
Let's do the second half.
Starstruck over here, but I'm good. Let's go, baby.
Nice.